everybody, it's Jade. I finally caught up on my entries for the month of January, so it's time to do my Fibonacci flip. I did do a quick page to indicate that the year has changed in 2019 since I was working in this journal in 2018. Use a couple stickers from my Happy Planner sticker pack. It says Craft Your Life from Daydreams, which I love. The next one is, a cover page for January, and I just drew a sea goat, which represents Capricorns, and I am a Capricorn, so yeah. The next page, I did a full moon journal spread because I wanted to keep up with the full moon dates of the complete year and not have to Google every month when the full moon was coming. And so I created stickers on my silhouette for this moon and the moon dates. And over here just kind of made a night sky. I think I may have a journal with me on this. If I do, I'll link it up. And so what I did was put a sticker from the Free Spirit Happy Planner pack that says she walked in moon dust and stars were sprinkled in her hair. And I used these silver glitter stars, shape stars from Recollections and Michael's, just to add a little more pizzazz, I guess, to my night sky. So that is my full moon spread. The next day I did my word of the year, which is captivate, attract, and hold the interest and attention of charm. I don't know how I'm going to do with the word of the year because another word has also been coming to me lately, which I don't know. But anyway, that's what I chose so far here. January 6th, I finally got to see my nephew after him and my sister coming back from Disney and me being released from the hospital. And he's so thoughtful. He bought me a Groot while he was there in Disney, and I freaking love Groot. He is the cutest little thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Guardians of the Galaxy and you will understand. Next day, January 7th, I love RuPaul's Drag Race, and the All-Star season started back in December, but this was the day that I finally started it, just because I kept forgetting that it was on. The next day, I had ended up ordering Ed Sheeran's 2 CDs Plus Deluxe and Divide Deluxe. I already had X Deluxe. I had it for some years. But I only really paid attention to 2 songs on that album. And I ended up, after hearing the Perfect song from this album, I ended up going back and revisiting X. And I was like, what were you thinking, Jade? Because I love so many of the songs on there. And so I had to get his other CDs, and I love them. And this was when Divide showed up. And so I just drew kind of what the album cover looks like and put some of the lyrics from one of the songs around it. And this is from Hearts Don't Break Around Here, and it's a beautiful song. Listen to it. It's on the Divide album. That was January 7th. 10 days later, we get my birthday, which was a good one. It's the first birthday I was excited about in a long time. I ate shrimp tacos. My mom made me a strawberry shortcake. It was just a good day, so yeah. And I also have a journal with me on this one. I'll link that. And I like that I got to use one of my birthday cards to make this tip in, so I can remember that. The next day, Aquaman, I also have a journal with me on this. I'll link all of the journal with me's throughout the video. And so I want my cousins to see Aquaman. Finally, I love it. I love Jason Momoa. I've been a fan of his since he showed up in that show. I don't know if you remember it, called The Game. A long time ago, he was dating Kelly for a few episodes. And I was like, ooh, who is this guy? He's new. He's different. And he actually ended up being a butthead in that show. But then he showed up on Game of Thrones as called Drogo. And to this day, that's one of my favorite characters. And I love him. And I hope he comes back somehow. So anyway, yeah. Aquaman. And then another cool thing is on our way. I've been seeing 8s, like multiple 8s. And we were behind this car. It was a Porsche. And it had all of these 8s. I made my cousin take this this picture of this plate. And then I've also been seeing 9/11, and my ticket happened to be Theater 9, Seat 11. So I thought it was cool. And here I just took some Tim Holtz distress inks and kind of blended them together to make an ocean-like feel for this page. Which, go see Aquaman. It's good. I love it. I can't wait till it comes out on DVD so I can watch it like 1,000 times. This day was cool. It was January 11th. I had this dream that I was flying. And a lot of people say that if you fly in a dream, it's a lucid dream. But I don't think it was a lucid dream because most people who lucid dream remember that they actually had a lucid dream when they wake up. I didn't have that feeling when I woke up. And also they say that if you're lucid and fly in a dream for the first time, most people don't get it on the first time, like are not proficient. And this dream, I was hovering in the air at first, and there was this entity, this something with me. It was like a spirit or something. I just knew it wasn't a person, but whatever it was very loving and benevolent, and I trusted it. And it like shot off in this one direction, like forward. It shot off forward, and I just shot off flying after it. And I just thought it was so cool. I was so exhilarated when I woke up. So I wanted to mark that down. On the 20th, I went by my nephew's house. Actually, I should say my brother's house. To drop something off to him, and he wanted to play Mario Kart, and I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, Auntie's gonna win. And what's funny is Auntie ain't never won Mario Kart. I have never been proficient at Mario Kart. The computer beats me. I've never in my life won a Mario Kart tournament, okay? But somehow this day, I was winning every race, even against the computer people or whatever, and yeah, I won the whole shebang. So you know, that positive thinking, maybe that helped me win Mario Kart. You never know. Anyway, it was fun. I love hanging out with my nephew. He is I just love him to pieces. Anyway, January 9th. See, I'm back and forth with my dates here, so bear with me, guys. In my quest to watch some of Charlie Hunnam's older work, I came across this show called Undeclared. And it was from the producer of Freaks and Geeks. I don't know if you guys remember that show. I never watched it, but I always meant to go back and watch it because people rave about it. And that show and this show both actually ended up getting canceled after the first season. But I hear Freaks and Geeks was a great show. And this one was a great show as well. Y'all, this show is hilarious, and it's about these kids in college. And what I love, really love about it is that this show was filmed and aired during the same time that I was in college. So a lot of the elements that you see or that I saw in this reminded me of my time in college. And if I could go back to that time, even if I had to make all of the same decisions, I would go back in a heartbeat. So I loved this show. It's hilarious. And my favorite episode was God Visits. And this is Lloyd. Charlie Hunnam plays a character, a British kid named Lloyd. And then the other character, his roommate, named Stephen. And this episode is called God Visits. And Stephen, on one hand, it's funny because they're like on two opposite ends of what's going on. Stephen, on one hand, has discovered God. And he's like learning about God. And he's like having a blast, rolling around in the grass and nature and just loving everything around him. Whereas Lloyd takes his philosophy class and ends up like, oh God, life is meaningless. He's just basically having a meltdown the whole episode. And it's hilarious. So if you guys haven't seen it, give it a go. I think I may have watched it the first time maybe on YouTube. I can't remember. I don't know. I ended up buying the a used copy from FYE because like the non-used copies are ridiculously high. I'm not paying it. Anyway, so that was it for that. The January 10th, I opened I signed up for my actual Etsy shop and loaded up one of the digital art prints I have been working on. This was my first one, and it just says the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination, and which is a quote by Albert Einstein. So put that there. January 21st, I just wanted to make note of several different shows that I have been watching, or movies, because guys, oh my God, watch these shows. They are ridiculously good or crazy. Okay, the first one is called You, and basically it's about this guy basically stalking this girl. and he's batshit crazy, but his internal dialogue will almost have you convinced that he is the right person for this girl, but he's not. Okay, he is batshit crazy. Make no mistake. Okay, but watch it. It's so good. You'll understand what I'm saying when I tell you that his internal dialogue will almost have you convinced of some things. And then the two documentaries about that fire festival that happened years ago, that fraud thing that happened that hit social media. I remember those pictures. Came out. First, the one on Hulu, Fire Fraud, which I watched. I like that one the best out of both of them, because Hulu just got down to the brass tacks of this thing was basically a fraud and a sham from beginning to end. They got into the guy who was putting it together and how he basically started with a whole lot of fraudulent type businesses and was continuing to be fraudulent even after the whole shit show of the Fire Festival. He was coming up with other fraudulent stuff to do. It was crazy. It was crazy, you guys. And then the Netflix one came out a week or so after Hulu's. And this one has a little bit different information. And the Netflix one, it's like they tried to basically convince you for a good portion of the film like this was some kind of legitimate enterprise. And it wasn't. It was not. People knew it wasn't. And I think that's what pissed me off about the Netflix one. Is these people knew that this was a shit show. They knew it was a fraud from the beginning. And nobody would speak up and say anything about it. And it just kind of ticked me off. But there's a part in the Netflix one you don't want to miss. Because you're going to be like, what? You did what? They asked you to do what? Yeah. Y'all, I'm telling you. Very interesting documentaries. Watch them. Fire Fraud is the Hulu one. And Fire, the Greatest Party That Never Happened, is the Netflix one. And then also on Netflix, I watched this movie called Abducted in Plain Sight. It's a true crime story. I'm just like, throw the whole family away after watching that. I mean, it gets crazier and crazier. It's about this family who invites this neighbor into their home and basically gives him free reign with their children, their daughters, and especially this one that he was very enamored with. Her name is Jan, and he makes off with the daughter, and And it gets more and more unbelievable. Like, you're sitting here looking at this movie, and it's like, it can't get any worse. And it does. Watch it, guys. I'm telling you, like, you did what? What happened? Like, there was no protection. Nobody had any interest in protecting this child. And I'm just like, Jan, throw your whole family away. Because, no. Okay, they are trash. Anyway, so that's the wrap up of my shows that I've been watching that had gotten really into that month. 22nd was the Super Blood Wolf Moon. I also have a journal with me for this spread. And it was beautiful, that Wolf Moon. I had a photographer friend who was out capturing the whole progression from like regular full moon to wolf moon to, and then like the eclipse was happening. It was crazy. But it was beautiful. And then here I just wanted to mark down the 22nd, 24th. I just wanted to mark down how my friend, she sent me a cute Harry Potter notebook with the Marauders map in the background and the saying, "I solemnly swear that I am up to no good." It's one of my favorite quotes out of the series. And so I made a sticker out of "I solemnly swear." And I found this image of Harry Potter and Ron actually looking at the Marauders map and made a sticker of that as well. And just put it down. And I actually used some of the wrapping paper that she sent it in. It actually all matched and went together quite well. So, yeah, thank you, Kimmy. I really appreciate it. I love my book. And here I have been getting thoughts and things of an old friend of mine. We used to be really, like, even to the point where I actually saw this person's name on a license plate. And I was like, okay, what is going on here? Me and this person used to be really, really close. I mean, to the point where we would, like, finish sentences of each other. We always knew when something was going on. Like I can't even explain how many times I would call and they'd be like, "Oh my God, how you always know when to call." And like I heard that a lot, and so we've since grown apart. But I didn't know. I was like, okay, God, do you want me to reach out to this person? Like, what is going on? So I asked God for a very specific sign. I was like, if you want me to, I do not want to reach out. But I was like, if you want me to, this is what I need to see by this time. And I didn't see it, so I was relieved. But so whenever they come to mind now, I just kind of energetically try to send them my love and leave it at that and let it go. And then that was the 29th, so the January 31st. I finally had all of my listings up in my Etsy shop. It was officially open. No, it's not perfect. Yes, I need to do a little tweaking. But yeah, I'm just proud and happy that I got everything done and everything is up. So it is Lilac Jream on Etsy, and they are basically digital art prints. So, and I'm considering actually doing not a resize, but I'm keeping the sizes that I have, but also maybe sizing them in different sizes for TNs for like dashboards and stuff. Tell me if anybody be interested in that. I don't think too many people are on this channel yet, so I don't know. Maybe I need to ask this once I build up an audience, a bigger audience, I should say. So thank you to those who do come. So we'll see. Anyway, I just was proud of myself. I still need to go out and actually celebrate. But yeah, it's done. It's open, and I am relieved to have it done. So that is it for January. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave those below. Thank you to everybody that comes to this channel. I appreciate it. If you like this and you're new here, please consider liking, subscribing, and hit the bell for notifications, okay? Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna quit rambling now. I'll see you guys in another flip for next month. Okay, bye.